Hi, GA families and kids. It's Mr. McComb. I'm coming at you right now. It's Sunday morning and getting ready for our week ahead. So I hope everybody so far has enjoyed a nice weekend with some nice sun and ready for a nice Sunday and getting ready for the week starting up. So here's just a quick update on what we've got going on. Um, as far as last week, we had map testing. The kids did a great job with the math map testing. Really nice job kind of getting logged in. Not too many problems and just going through and doing their best. Looking forward to getting some of those results and being able to use that to help me kind of know what be better prepared for what we can encounter in math. This week we're going to do the same thing. Tuesday and Thursday is the days we ended up kind of having to do to kind of coordinate and be flexible with the availability of the computer lab. Reading this week, so Miss Cullen will take her group of kids down for that. So same deal, just they're going to give it their best shot. Nothing major to worry about. Just going to do the best we can and let that test give us the results that it'll give to us. Also, we got the Living Rosary practice. That's a fifth grade thing we get to do, which is a lot of fun and a big important liturgical event every year where we use the candles and we have our readers to pray the rosary while we have the candles go around to create the Living Rosary around the altar in church. Friday we had our first practice. Kids did a great job for our first practice, and with COVID and things, we have to sort of adjust every year. We have to kind of figure out the new way to do things and adjust on the fly a little bit. And so the first practice is all about just kind of figuring out the best way to situate ourselves in the church. And really, the kids did a nice job with that. So we'll have a couple more practices leading up to the event, which will take us out of our regular class time, of course. So that's a little bit more stuff going on. But kids did a good job overall. Seems like they're pretty confident in what they'll be doing. So that's a couple of things we'll have going on this week as well. Just to jump into classes real quick. So science last week again with map testing we got slowed down a little bit. So my last video I put out. We had maybe a little more than we were able to get to, but we did a good job. Kids did a good job with our little survey data collection to practice the process of asking a question, performing a simple investigation by just asking and collecting data from our classmates. They organized and displayed and shared the data. We did a presentation where they always like when I scan their pages into the computer and they can see it on the big Clevertouch screen and get to sort of show what they did. And so did a good job with that. This week we're going to do a little actual performing of an experiment where we have a controlled experiment, simple procedure, but one where we'll emphasize kind of making sure we're collecting our data in the right way, making sure we do everything the same way for each trial we'll perform. And I'll tell the kids about that this week coming up. Here's just a little look at some of the displays the kids created. So they were able to just pick a question about any particular area of interest, and so we had a lot of fun ones here that they really did a great job kind of at the end displaying the data, but there's a lot that went into the first part of collecting the data and organizing it and coming up with these nice displays in the end. So simple things, not super scientific, but just a good way to practice performing the investigation, creating a bar graph to display. So these are a few from Ms. Collins' class: favorite athletic brands, ice cream flavors, video games, NFL teams, some other ones like that. And from my homeroom class, some couple about animals and chocolate and fruit. So fun things to learn about. We actually had a new student start this week, Colton. So it was actually kind of worked out nicely as a good way to get to know him a little bit and him get to know us a little bit. So it's sort of interactive with collecting our data from each other. So that was our science. Again, we'll look forward to more of that. It seemed like the kids really liked it, and you can see they did a good job creating some of these displays. So it was fun. In math last week, we got into numerical expressions, which would be just where if we have like a short, quick story problem, reading the words and applying that into the math sentences, the numerical expressions to create a math problem to represent those words. We worked on some of the keywords and which operations we need to use to represent what happens in those quick little stories. This week, we'll get into evaluating those expressions, and we'll get into some more extended, multiple operations within one math problem or within one expression where we need to pay attention to the order of operations. So it seemed like the kids had a pretty good knowledge of PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We heard that a lot, and talking about what that means for the different operations we need to follow and the order we do them in, and paying special attention to that. So we did a little preview work by the end of last week, and they seemed like they were doing a pretty good job with it. This week we're going to hit that hard and make sure we really master those steps of the order of operations. Then finally in English got a little bit of the short end of the stick, unfortunately, which tends to happen when we have things like map testing in the Living Rosary and all the other things that start kind of taking away some of our regular class time, which is fine. But the kids are doing a good job with some of the nouns work we did. We're going to do a little progress check this week because it has been slowed down a little bit with the other stuff going on around school. So we'll go back and look at common and proper nouns and singular and plural nouns. Again, kids are doing pretty well with that. So we'll start off our week with that. And then moving on, we'll get into some singular and plural possessive nouns and a few other finer details with those kind of things. Again, more the grammatical changes we need to make to those things. So that'll be what we'll get to in English. Other than that, that's about it for the week ahead. Again, a couple other things going on. Like we said, we'll get used to the map testing again. Work hard on that Living Rosary stuff, all the other cool things we're doing around school. So kids are doing well. Hope you guys have had a great weekend and ready for a good week ahead. So enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.